Manchester United 1, FC Copenhagen 0. What a game. Not a great first half. Not a game I think United can walk away from with their heads held high. What a strange game. Listen, we could talk about the wasted chances, the copious amounts of times we carved them open in the second half and could not finish the meals that were put on our plate. Garnacho twice not scoring where he should have. Hoyland with bad touches, but us getting a second bite of the cherry with Garnacho's shot and McTominay missing, them hitting the post. An inspired substitution by Ten Hag at halftime. I thought Amrabat was the wrong player to take off. I'd have taken off McTominay for Eriksen, but Eriksen being the difference maker, his ability to unlock tight, mean defenses is unequaled, at least in this team. It was a mental game. Yet again, United having to rely on defenders to bail them out of games that their forwards just seem incapable of getting us 3 points when we need them. But listen, it doesn't matter how, it matters how many. And I don't care who scores the goals. We got through, and it's 3 on the bounce now. We've won. We've been relying on fringe players to get us through. But ultimately, this is a game of redemption. This was a game where our maligned players came and stepped up when the club needed them most, on the brink of elimination from the tournament. Where our forwards failed, Harry Maguire steps up with a beautiful ball from the substitute, Eriksen, and just lays it on a plate. And Maguire has missed plenty of those opportunities in the past, but tonight he didn't. And he absolutely wellied that ball home. To go from a man-of-the-match performance in the previous game to scoring the winner in this one, there wasn't a person in that stadium, whether you love or hate Harry Maguire, that didn't feel absolutely delighted for that fella. Beating his chest, beating the badge, giving the heart symbol to the crowd, a symbol that I don't think the crowd deserves, given how they've crucified and torn Harry apart over the last few years. Much of it self-inflicted, but the abuse he has taken has been very over the top. But he knows that, and he has taken it in his stride and taken it with a lot of dignity. And he is a credit to a lot of pros in that team and a lot of pros across the league, that even when you're being abused, even when you're, the poster boy for failure at a club, to be stripped of the captaincy, put down as fifth choice centre back behind your left back, and he's remained at the club, whether it's through bravery, stupidity, stubbornness, I don't know. But when he's been called upon at this club in the last few weeks to fill in, he has come in and done reasonably well. Man of the match performances, match winning, goal contributions. I still can't get over this match. Then Andre Onana, who played reasonably okay in the Sheffield United game, made some good saves, made an incredible save with such a strong arm to deny Copenhagen earlier in the game. A really, really, truly wonderful world-class save. It was great to see him put in saves like that to get his confidence back up. The penalty shout, yet again, McTominay giving away a penalty in the box when it was unnecessary. To be honest, I thought he was entitled to go for the ball. The player kind of came in from out of nowhere. I think McTominay was entitled to go for that with his foot. I don't think he could have quite got to it with his head, given the speed and the angle of it. Plus, he wants to kick the ball out, so he's not going to head the ball forward. Plus, he's quite close to the goal. I can understand why he wanted to get a foot to it. I think the referee made a bad call with the penalty. I didn't even think there was contact. So I don't know what the ruling, I don't know whether there has to be contact there in order for it to be a foul. But McTominay didn't get the ball. He didn't get the player. The player didn't get the ball. There was no... I didn't see contact from the replays, and I was actually quite confident that it was going to be overturned. And it wasn't. Half of me felt fucking typical. Fucking typical. It was in the 97th minute of 4 minutes extra time. And I just thought to myself, fucking of course, after all the heroics, it's just going to be shat on by a shite call, by us, you know, just shooting ourselves in the foot, as we always seem to do. And then the other part of me was like, this is a bit of a fairy tale night. I'm not saying this in hindsight. I was honestly on the couch going, I think he could save this. Even the commentators were going, Harry Maguire has saved himself. Can Onana now take the opportunity to be the hero as well? It was kind of like that commentary on 99. They've got a corner. Will they score? They always score when we're 1-0 down against Bayern in the Champions League final. Now, this is no Champions League final, but in a way, it was like a final. Because we get anything other than a win in this game, we're effectively out of this competition. Which would have been really bad news for Ten Hag and this team, and a very sorry state to be going into the Man City game in. And Henrik Larsson's son takes the penalty. A player who obviously played with us 14 games, got some important goals, has always spoken very fondly of the club. You know, I think Højlund's brother was on the bench. Then we've got Larsson's son taking the last kick of the game penalty to effectively knock us out of the Champions League. And Onana, what a save. It wasn't bottom corner. So often we see keepers dive the right way and the ball is just a bit higher than they were able to get their hand to. And he gets his arm to it. Unbelievable. I don't want to spend this podcast bitching about Garnacho, bitching about Rashford, bitching about our forward line not being able to finish off the multiple chances. We cannot blame Ten Hag. If that was 1-1, Ten Hag should not have been on the hook for that. We should have been 3-4-0 up, and Harry Maguire said it at the end of the game. We really should have been taking our chances to put that game to bed. That penalty should not have mattered. It should have been 2-3, 4-0 at that stage. Our display in the second half was fantastic. We carved them open on multiple occasions. Bad timing, bad runs, bad decisions, poor finishing, poor touches. It was no one else's responsibility other than the forward line. But again, we can go into that in another episode in detail. It has to be mentioned in a post-game analysis, but let's just keep it positive. We got the 3 points. Harry Maguire scores the winner. Onana saves our asses at the death with a phenomenal save. We need to take... There's been so few positive this season. Let's keep the criticism down. This is a wonderful evening for United. It's great. I feel fantastic. I think it was a great performance. I wasn't going to be this excited without that penalty save. It was 1-0. I was happy for the 3 points, but I was ready to stick the boot in with those forward players once again letting us down. But let's just not bother on this episode. I just want to keep this very positive. We're back in the race. We've got a chance of qualifying from this group. Harry Maguire scores the winner. Onana saves the day. We carved them open. We created lots of chances. Good substitutions by Ten Hag. Eriksen made a massive difference. Garnacho, while not getting the finishes he could have gotten, got himself into great positions, showed great awareness and speed and an ability to link up with players. Bruno with some really nice passing as well. He was all over the pitch making great tackles. A captain's performance, I thought. And listen, roll on the game against Manchester City. Do I think that performance gets us anything against Manchester City? No. But listen, that's an episode for another day. We don't get a lot of these kind of feelings. Even games we win, we're like, oh, Jesus, that wasn't convincing. We haven't had many good moments to celebrate the last few weeks, months. And this is a good moment. So let's enjoy it. So Harry Maguire, Thank you, sir. Andre Onana, well done. Welcome back into the fray. Thank you very much for saving our asses. You've kept your heads when all those around you were losing theirs. Tonight is yours. You're both the kings of the red half of Manchester. Roll on Saturday. 3 points. Let's just celebrate this one. Thank you, gentlemen.